and this is a yoga practice to help open your heart. Let's get started. We're starting practice today seated on the ground. So go ahead and make your way there. Make any adjustments you need so that you can sit comfortably. If you need to lift the hips up or put some bolsters underneath the sides of the legs if you're especially tight. Make any adjustments that you need. We're going to shift the hips out from underneath. Just make sure that you're sitting right on your sit bones, right at the very bottom of your pelvis. So the two hips are connected nice and solid on the ground, heavy. Together we'll take a big breath in. Long breath out, let something go. As you arrive here in this seat, just notice if you're holding on to tension anywhere in your body. If this doesn't feel like a comfortable seat, just don't panic. Just see if you can make any little adjustments with how you're holding your body. I'm going to give you some cues to help you sit up a little taller here. You can take a peek at the screen at me if you need. So the pelvis is the foundation. Imagine plugging the tailbone right in underneath you here. So the lower back and the lower belly draw in towards each other. You'll feel the core turned on. And then checking in with the lower ribs where they meet the belly. If the lower ribs are forward, if the belly is forward, so you can draw the lower ribs in so that it's nice and flat along the front side of the body. Everything is drawing in. And then lastly, checking in with the chest here, if the shoulders are rounding forward. See if you can pull the shoulder blades in towards each other on the spine. And then lastly, the position of the head here. If you're like me, your head is probably shifted forward so that the chin is hanging over the heart. See if you can tuck the chin into the throat here. Think about pulling the back of the head back. It should feel like you're pressing your chest out. That's what we're looking for here. Maybe not so comfortable if you're like me and you hold a lot of tension, a lot of stuff around your heart. That's okay. It's nice and slow, nice and gently. We're just going to introduce breath into that space. So breathing in, filling up all of the chest, not just the front of the chest, but also think the sides of the armpits and rib cage, and the upper back body around the shoulder blades. Breathing from the very bottom of your belly and breathing so deep that you fill up all the space in your rib cage, all the space in your lungs. And then on the exhale, see if you can drop the shoulders down away from the ears. We're slowing down. Tuning in with the energy of the moon as it starts to disappear in the sky as we make our way to a new moon. The energy is tapering off here, inviting us to slow down, and that's exactly what we're doing today. Keeping it really simple, really slow, and using the breath here to open up space in the heart. Notice if you're still holding on to tension anywhere you don't need it. In the hands or the face or the neck. And then take one more big breath in, fill everything up. On the exhale, we're going to tuck the chin into the chest and just bow the head here, just a little forward bend, a little stretch for the back of the neck. Sending your breath now nice and deep along the upper back body. Think about stretching out the space between the shoulder blades. A lot of the times the heart space is associated with the chest, but it's all of that three-dimensional space. So the upper back body is involved as well. Sometimes tension in the front of the body can create tension in the back of the body. In this practice, we're looking to kind of balance out the two sides. Cool. We'll take one more breath like this. And then as you let it go nice and slow, we're going to carve a line with the nose so that you look forward and then tip the chin up towards the sky, pull the head back, open up the throat here. See if you can draw the shoulder blades down the back. If you're me, this is going to be super uncomfortable for the front of your throat, the front of your chest. See if you can stick with it. And of course, if you feel dizzy or if you feel pain at all, you can just come back through center. You don't have to take this one. Breathing deep here. Think about lifting up the very top of the chest, stretching out the throat as you breathe in. As you breathe out, shoulders draw down, the back towards the tail. We'll take one more breath like this. And then a long breath out, let it go, come back through center. We're going to add on to that, so that was just the neck. We're going to work the whole spine now with some seated cat-cow. So we'll find the movement first and then we'll sync it up with the breath. So tucking the chin into the chest, allowing the head to drop. And then think about moving the very top of your spine. We're going to roll the shoulders forward, hunch forward, send the heart down. Hug the lower ribs down towards the tailbone, really slouching forward. This is cat. And then nice and slow from the bottom of your waist, we're going to draw up. Start to roll up through the spine. When you get to the upper back body to the chest, we're going to lift the chest, draw the shoulder blades back, and then from here we'll tip the head back, look up at the sky. Little back bend, this is cow. So we're going to find a flow. Together we'll inhale, fill up your chest. Exhale, tuck the chin and roll it down, slouching forward nice and slow. One vertebrae at a time. Inhale draws you up. Imagine drawing up through the spine, really articulating through the back body, one vertebrae at a time. And then exhaling to draw everything in and round it forward. Keep going like that with your own breath. Some things to keep in mind here is your weight underneath you, the two sides of the hips. Just notice if there's any shifting going on between the two sides of the body. You want to keep the hips anchored, keep both sides of the body equally engaged so the core is turned on and you're moving nice and fluid, one vertebrae at a time. And then the other thing is to make sure that the breath is nice and deep here. You don't want to sacrifice your breath for a bigger movement. It doesn't have to be a big movement. We're just looking for that control. We're looking to tune in with all those little muscles along the upper back body, along the spine. And just by reconnecting with them, just by creating those small little movements, we're helping to create big space through the chest. Cool. Just go ahead and finish up wherever you are. Take one more in each direction. Great. And then make your way back to center. We're going to reset, stack everything up. We're going to bring the hands behind here with the fingertips pointing back so you can lean onto the heels of the hands and then set the heels down in front of you. So you come into this nice leaned back shape. If you're like me and you look like this, if your chest is falling forward towards your belly, see if you can pull the shoulder blades back. Think about growing really broad along the tips of the shoulders across the collarbone here, the very top of your chest. So there's active energy in the upper back body. Think about hugging the arms in towards each other to really puff out the chest, and then tucking the chin into the throat so that the back of the neck stays nice and long here. Make sure the lower ribs stay drawing in. Your weight here is on the hip points, the very bottoms of the hips. Think about boat pose, but we have the hands behind us to support us here, to tip the chest up and to help engage the upper back body here, hugging the arms in towards each other. Breathe in, see if you can send the heart forward as you inhale. Breathe out, see if you can let go of anything you don't need. And then nice and slow, nice and gently, we're just going to turn and look towards one shoulder, a little twist in the neck. Notice where you feel it. And then using your breath here, just a couple of breaths, see if you can soften the muscles along the side of the neck, the front of the throat, where they meet the chest and the shoulder. Just a little movement here, but bring the breath and see what changes. Meeting any resistance. Nice big inhales. And then nice and slow, we're going to turn, come back through center, take it the other way. Turn and look the other direction. Notice where you feel it. Keep pressing into the heels of the hands here, lifting the chest, drawing the shoulder blades together. You should feel the upper back really working now. We'll take one more breath like this. And then a long breath out, we're going to come back through center. We're going to lift up the toes and then just bump the knees a little side to side. We're just windshield wipering the legs, just letting go of any tension that's hanging on in the hips. Doesn't have to be a big movement here. Make sure that you keep the chest lifted, keep the breath flowing, keep it going. Imagine breathing into the lower back and then breathing into the chest here. So the inhales stretch the lower back and the chest. And then the exhales to help hug the front of the body in towards the back of the body, empty out. Cool. We're going to let that go. Lean forward, come back to that cross-legged seat. We're going to switch the legs, so just bring your opposite leg in front, whichever one you didn't use last time, and then it's going to feel super weird, but just balance it out. We're going to reach the left hand across the body so that you grab onto the right thigh. And then nice and slow, we're going to bring the right fingertips to rest behind you. Try and keep them close to your body. Pull the right shoulder back, and then start to spin the rib cage over to the right. We're going to hang out here for a couple of breaths. So just notice if you're not able to breathe nice and deep here, if it doesn't feel good, you can come back through center a little bit. We're not forcing anything here. You need to find a place where you can breathe nice and comfortably, because that breath is what's going to help open up space. So just play around there. You don't have to stay where you've landed. And especially with these long holds, sometimes we'll work our way in. So just find that comfortable place of resistance. And then maybe with time, with breath, you might find that you're able to sink into it a little. Let it develop. Notice the breath as it moves through your body, meeting any areas of resistance along the chest, along the rib cage, along the upper back body. And then on your exhale, see if you can soften, squeeze everything in towards center. Let go of anything you don't need here. A couple of rounds of breath like that. Thinking about not just filling up the lower back and the chest, but also the sides of the rib cage here. Imagine growing wider through your waist with each breath in. Noticing how the breath clears things out, how it shifts sensation in the body, how it softens tension. And also how every breath is different. Just feeling how things are shifting moment to moment, breath to breath. If it feels good, you can turn your head and look over your right shoulder. You can bring the neck into it, find it a little bit deeper. Again, not forcing anything, not sacrificing your breath to go further. Just finding an appropriate edge. We're finding that twisting, that torque in the spine. And while we're focusing here today on the upper body, just notice sensations in the lower body too, because it's all connected from the tailbone through the spine to the head. All of that space works together. And what's happening on the top is influencing what's happening on the bottom and vice versa. So just check that out. All right, we'll take one more big breath in, stretch it out. And a big breath out, come back through center. And inhale to grow taller. And then exhale, right hand comes across to grab the thigh, and then the left arm swims behind to land somewhere behind you. Not using the arms to force anything here, twisting from the waist. If you're like me, this side is a lot different. Make any adjustments that you need. Maybe you need more, maybe you need less. Let go of expectations of what it should look like or the idea of how your body should perform. Just meet yourself where you are without force. And then see if you can get comfortable, see if you can reconnect with the breath here in this position. Just noticing where you're feeling restricted. And then seeing if you can direct your breath into those spaces of restriction. So inhaling to stretch and expand. Exhaling to soften and let go. That left shoulder blade is pulling in towards the spine. And then the right shoulder blade is sliding away from the spine towards your right armpit so that you find that twist, that torque. Make sure the shoulders are dropped down away from the ears so you're nice and soft through the sides of the neck here. We're just using the muscles of the core to find this movement. So if you're feeling any tension in your neck, just come out of it a little. Just adjust how you're holding your body. It doesn't have to be a big move. Keeping the opening of the rib cage stacked over the opening of the hips here. We're finding that nice tall alignment through the torso. And then just allowing the breath to travel from the bottom of the hips, along the sides of the rib cage, into the upper back and the chest. And then letting it go from the chest, through the center of the ribs, all the way to the bottom of the belly. Feeling the motion of the rib cage, the resistance at the top of the chest as you really fill up all the way to the tops of your lungs. And feeling that softness, that release as you exhale, let the breath go. Maybe find a little more, a little deeper movement here. Nice and slow. Taking our time. And then same thing here, if it feels good, you can turn and look, go over that left shoulder, you can bring the neck into it. Allowing the diaphragm, the bottom of the rib cage, to really open and expand as you breathe in. And then soften and contract as you breathe out. A couple more rounds of breath like this. Cool. We'll take one more breath like this. And then exhale, we're going to come back through center. We're going to roll forward, come onto the hands and the knees here. Little table And then we're gonna come right into cat-cow here once you found your foundation with the knees under the hips. We're gonna inhale to lift the tailbone, drop the belly, lift the gaze, cow. And then exhale, tuck the tailbone under, roll through the spine, round the shoulders, drop the head, cat. Again, inhale, curve a line with the nose, really open up through the front of the body. Exhale to hug the belly in, round out through the back body. One more big breath in to open up. Big breath out to let it go. Nice. Cool. We're just going to walk the hands forward just slightly. And then sink the chest down, come onto the forearms, but keep the hips high here. We're coming in a puppy posture here. You can let the forehead rest on the ground if you can reach. That feels good for you. Don't dump all your weight into your shoulders here. You want to be able to press down through the tops of the legs and hug the lower ribs down towards the hip points here so the core is still turned on. The belly is what holds you. Big stretch for the upper back body, the chest. Breathe in, grow wider through your armpits. And then breathe out. We're going to shift the hips forward, lift the head up, and then drop the hips down so that you come into a little cobra here. The pubic bone is your anchor. Make sure the back toes are untucked there so you're pressing down through the tops of your feet. And then the elbows are right underneath the shoulders. If this doesn't feel good for you, you can always drop it down into cobra with the hands underneath the shoulders, just actively lifting the chest up. Or you can meet me here in this Sphinx pose. We're gonna pull the shoulder blades back here and draw them down towards the lower back body. So you're active through the middle back. Weight is held in the belly and the pubic bone. And then the chin is tucking into the throat here. Think about really drawing up through the crown of the head, so growing taller through the upper body. As you inhale, expand the chest, feel it stretch. As you exhale, see if you can soften and sink. A couple of rounds of breath like that. Feeling the upper body work. Feeling the chest open. Together we'll take one more big breath in. And then a long breath out. We're going to turn and look to the right. Bump the left shoulder forward. Just a small movement here. Be mindful that you're not having any pain in the back. And then come back through center. Turn and look to the left. Bump the right shoulder forward. So just a very gentle, very small twist. If it doesn't feel good in your back, you can skip that. Nice and slow, we're gonna roll back down here. Let the chest come onto the ground. We're gonna draw the hands in line with the shoulders and hug the elbows in towards the spine. Inhale for cobra. Nice and slow, we're gonna tuck the chin into the throat and then see if you can roll up from the middle back. So starting by peeling the chest up. And then tucking the chin to lift the gaze. Exhale, roll it down nice and slow with control. See if you can let your forehead touch the ground here. Really let it touch down. And then we're going to find a flow like that. So from the ground up, inhale to unravel, rise up nice and slow. Exhale to soften, sink it down. Again, the inhale lifts you up, roll up, open the chest. Exhale to soften, let it go. One more, biggest breath you've taken all day. Shine the heart forward. And then exhale to roll it all the way down. Nice. We're going to bring the arms down by the sides here. And then just turn and look one way so that you can set the side of your face down, your cheek or your temple. We're coming into a little twist here of the neck. Allow the shoulders to slide down towards the earth here. The upper body gets soft. The feet fall apart. And then the breath just moves along the back body here, helping to stretch everything out. Inhaling, feeling the spine, the back stretch and rise towards the ceiling. Exhaling to clear out tension hanging on along the shoulders, the neck, the upper back. We'll take one more big breath in like this. And then a long breath out, lift your forehead up, come around through center, take it the other way, turn and look the other way. We're going to even it out. Let your face rest on the ground, come into this twist on the other side. Notice where you feel it. And then see if you can send your breath there. Shoulder blades sliding apart, breath traveling up into the upper back body along the spine to help stretch everything out. Allowing the weight of your body to really sink down here into the mat. Legs, belly, chest, all heavy. We'll take one more breath like this. And then as you let it go, lift your head up, come back through center. We're going to press into the hands and the knees, getting set up for child's pose here. So the big toes come together to touch. The knees are wide. Send your hips all the way back. Connect them on the heels first. And then nice and slow, we're going to walk the hands out, melt the heart down, and drop the forehead down. Child's pose. Gravity helping to stretch out your spine here. The tailbone is weighted. Think about it drawing down towards your toes. And then feeling the weight of your head, your chest, helping to stretch and expand all the little joints along the spine. A big breath in, stretch it out. A long breath out, let it go. We're going to lift the forehead up here, but stay low. The left hand is going to slide underneath the chest, underneath that right armpit. We're coming into a twist here. Thread the needle. You can drop onto the edge of the forearm or the shoulder. And then turn and look towards your hand so that your head is tracking with your hand. Allow the head to rest on the ground. Send breath into the upper back body here. Really stretch out the space along the shoulder blades. A big breath in, grow wide through your rib cage. And then a long breath out, we're going to lift the head up, unravel, and switch sides. Left hand goes long, we're going to take that right hand, slide it underneath the chest, underneath the armpit to find that twist on the other side. Allowing the right forehead or the right temple to come down on the ground. And then sending the breath into the sides of the rib cage here, into all of the space of the upper body. Inhale to stretch the space between each rib. Exhale to clear out tension along the upper back. Awesome. We'll take one more breath like this. And then a long breath out. We're going to lift the head up, unravel the arms, let them go out long so that you can press back up. We're going to swing the legs around, come to a seat, and then go ahead and make your way onto your back. Nice and slow. Come onto your back. And when you get there, go ahead, bend your knees, put your feet flat on the ground. We're going to tuck the shoulder blades underneath you here. The arms are down by the sides. With the pinkies down and the thumbs up, we're going to gently press the arms down into the ground. You'll feel the upper back turn on, feel the chest turn on, open up. So that there's active energy here in the shoulder blades. We're helping to keep the chest nice and open here. So that as we inhale, we can scoop the hips up, find bridge pose here. Nice little massage for the upper back as you lift the hips. Exhale, nice and slow, roll it back down. Keep pressing down through the arms, keep the chest open. Again, inhale, curl the tailbone up, press the hips up, knees go towards the toes. And then exhale, roll it all the way down. All right, last one. Big breath in, fill up the chest so much it stretches up towards your chin. And then exhale, nice and slow. We're gonna let it go all the way down. Hug the knees in towards the chest. Give yourself a little squeeze. A little rock and roll, any final movement that you need. Awesome. And then let the legs come back down onto the ground. You can either have the knees bent with the feet flat on the ground, or you can let the legs go up long. We're getting set up for a meditation now. So if you need to pause this video and grab a drink or grab anything you need to help you get set up for a comfortable meditation, you can do that now. And then together we'll meet in a comfortable resting position of your choice. Allow the eyes to close. Allow the body to soften and sink into the mat here. And then together we'll take a big breath in. Use your exhale to let the weight of your body sink down into the ground underneath you. Just tuning in here, noticing all of the space we've created in the chest, the upper back body, the sides of the armpits. Breathing so deep that you fill up all of that space at the top of the chest, the tops of the lungs. Feeling the effects of your practice here, noticing how things have shifted. Our focus for the meditation is to keep filling up all of that beautiful space we've created in the heart. Breathing deep from the pit of your belly through the sides of the rib cage all the way to the tops of the shoulder blades, the tops of the collarbones. Breathing out, clearing out anything you don't need. A couple of rounds of breath like that. Take in one more long, deep breath. Fill everything up. And then just let it go. You're welcome to stay here as long as your day allows. If you want to pause the video and take a few more quiet moments. Or if you're ready, you can take your time and make your way to a seated position where we'll close. Feeling all of the space that we've created in the upper body, the energy shift, all of that cultivated by you showing up here today. And then gratitude for being able to move, for having a body, and for taking the time to connect with yourself and care for yourself in this way. Thank you for sharing this practice with me.